Hello and welcome to CHUB Cast. Is that what we called it?
I think we got with
I
that.
think
CHUB
so.
Cast.
Chub,
All right.
Chub 2020.
Yeah, CHUB. This is the show where we talk about 2 albums a day. No, a week. If it was a day, I'd kill me. I am Zachary Smith, the second best bassist in CHUB, and joined with me is the best bassist and the best guitarist, Greg Rushton.
Up for debate. Hello.
Our drummer,
It's your boy, Skinny Penis, Kyle Storer.
Kyle Storer, and the vocalist.
Hello. Oh, my name's Ben. Hi.
Yep,
Among the greatest vocalists in Chub.
he's also retarded, but we try and look past that. Obviously, no one at home is going to be able to listen to the albums that we listen to because it's the first one. But please join in for next week's one where we discuss Kyle and Greg's albums, which we will reveal at the end of the show. But the first week, this episode's albums are, Ben?
Revival by Light the Torch.
Yep. And, oh fuck, it's a long one. It is called Gloryhammer, Legends from Beyond the Galactic Terror Vortex. Yeah. Which one do you want to talk about
Subtle.
first? Oh yeah, they're all about subtlety. They are.
Yeah. And if your viewer wants a really the proper protracted podcast experience, they have to pause now and spend 2 hours listening to both albums before they come back.
In fact, it's advised. So see ya. We'll wait
Yeah,
here.
you have to pause it on this.
Awesome.
Okay.
Excellent. I'm glad you
It's
enjoyed
great, isn't
the
it?
albums.
Both of them are so good.
That's
Yeah.
good. I probably have. Oh, I don't know. Which one did we all prefer? I feel like I have more to say about Gloryhammer. I don't know about you.
God.
I've got equally amount to say as both of them, but
Yeah.
spoilers, I didn't like the Gloryhammer one very much.
Dun, dun, dun.
I didn't dislike it.
Is this
but I didn't
controversy on our first episode?
Oh.
like it.
Well.
Let's talk about the Gloryhammer one.
Yeah, let's do Gloryhammer first. Right. Gloryhammer. A power metal band from Scotland. Don't know if you sussed out from the lyrics, but all of their songs are about battles in places like Fife and stuff like that. And it's set 1992 with the Hoots Force and Angus MacFife trying to destroy the evil wizard Zargofrax.
Sagafrax.
Zargofrax being played because they all dress up on stage like their characters. Zargofrax being played by Chris Bowles from Ailstorm, which is the frontman, which is quite cool.
That's pretty sick.
Did he form the band as well?
I'm not sure, to be honest. They formed their first album was 2013, so that was around when Drink came out, or that album. The album with Drink on it. Yeah. So
Wait, are you saying the frontman from Ailstorm is the same as the frontman from?
No, the
I
keyboard.
thought it was the keyboardist.
the
the
keyboardist.
Yeah, right.
No, the frontman from Gloryhammer is called Thomas Winkler, which is a great name. Great name.
Is that-
I love that surname so much.
But that guy can belt.
Whew.
In fact, yeah. And this is the album that I picked, by the way. I don't think I said that. Ben picked the other one. Right. Should we start with Ben?
So, I went into it expecting it to be. I mean, the first thing when you look at any of the album artwork is just like big guys with like hammers and like axes and like thunder and lightning and stuff.
Yeah.
And straight away, as soon as you're going into it, you know that it's going to be cheese, but it's that Gouda,
Oh,
that delicious
yeah.
Gouda that you yearn for.
I mean, you just named about 50% of their lyrics. they just throw in as many words like Titan and Astral and Hammer
Yeah.
and Goblin Smasher and shit. There's, I think, the first two albums, you can actually find it on Reddit. Someone posted like the story and all the songs that complement what's going on in the story, and it's actually a sick story. I just really wish there was a comic book to go alongside the albums, because that'd be amazing.
Yeah,
Oh,
that would have been so good.
There is a band that did that, and there was that. Carl, you told me about. Was it Coheed and Cambria that ever?
Yeah, Coheed and Cambria. The lead singer writes a comic on the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so it would be doable. Maybe they should. Artists who are watching this podcast right now, make that comment.
I was going to say, yeah, the artwork is really sick, especially on the most recent album.
Yeah.
One of the things, though, like going back to the whole story thing, is I feel like coming into them, I'd never listened to them or even heard of them before this album. And looking back at their first two albums, it looks like they're a bit more like standard medieval fantasy based, whereas this album's like beyond the galactic terra vortex, so it's in space and shit.
Yeah, the first
flying,
album was definitely medieval. It was set in like the 10th century. Yeah. And then the second album, they jumped 1,000 years to the future.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like I kind of missed a trick, because it's like now it's fantasy in space, whereas before they were all fantasy. And trying to pick up on some of the things, like I don't know what the fuck the hoots is, but then I looked up what the hoots are, and they don't know what the hoots is either. It's just a thing.
It's like the army, it's the clan. They're like, well, Hoots is a guy, right? And the Hoots force
the Hoots man is a guy, but he has the power of the Hoots, which is just a thing. It's
Hoots is something that Scottish people say, and they're like, Hoots, laddie!
Hoots!
In fact, the first line in The Simpsons that Willie says is Hoots. So
I'm Scottish and I've never heard that. Does it have a meaning?
I don't know.
If you ever read the...
Sorry.
I was going to say, if you ever read the Beano, like, I can't remember what there was like a Scottish character in that, and all they would say is like, Hoots something, 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 and I'm just like, what does it mean? What is the secret meaning?
Oh, in fact, that's funny you say that, Carl, because I did actually write in my notes that, like, this album, if you don't know the first two albums, you're going to be, like, so, like, lost. What the fuck's going on? Like, there's no context between the insanity, you know?
Yeah,
whereas if you listen to the first two, there would be, so it all... I mean, it doesn't make sense anyway, but it's very D&D.
The only context I've gotten is looking at the album covers of the other ones and the names of the songs.
Shut up, Siri.
Chemical substance that occurs in...
Obviously a big fan of the album.
Apparently, Hootsmon is it's basically the equivalent of saying okay. It's just a Scottish noise.
Just like a confirmation.
It's like nah for Australia.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah, no.
It's like a little filler.
Yeah, in relation to what you're saying, I was in the same situation going into this album. I hadn't heard any of it at all, and the lack of understanding of the first couple of albums, I'd say, it didn't bother me even slightly. Like, I was pretty hooked as soon as I started listening and started reading the story. I felt like the cheese fumes were so overpoweringly strong that I really didn't need any further context to enjoy it.
Dude, I got high off those fumes.
Oh,
I got high.
strongly.
Oh.
You could say it was brilliant.
Hey, hi-oh.
Hey-oh. Hoots!
Hoots!
Hoots, man.
I was gonna say, yeah, I'm not really a big power metal fan, so I thought I'd appreciate the fact that they don't take themselves too seriously. Like, that's one of the things I don't like about power metal normally, is like dudes trying to be really deadly serious about like dragons and shit.
Yeah.
It just seems like really lame to me.
Okay,
So I
great,
like that they were more tongue in cheek with it.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's a new wave of like tongue-in-cheek power metal bands coming in. There's one that dress up like superheroes and sing about fighting crime. I love it.
That sounds amazing.
There's another one where they dress up like different periods of time and they just sing about history. Like the frontman dresses like a gladiator or something, I think.
What's the superhero one called? Do you know? I want to look that up.
Oh god, I'll let you know at the end of the show if you remind me.
Yeah.
But power metal is, in my opinion, just glam but with a neck beard. So
Yeah.
That's pretty much true. Yeah.
you
Same
could
with like
just take the dragons out of the songs and replace them with shagging women, and you got
Yeah.
a glam song.
I was literally about to say it's just glam is just like, you know, fucking bitches getting alcohol and stuff, but then it's just like, yeah, dragons and medieval battles instead.
Fuck dragons get me.
Yeah, literally.
Fuck dragons get me. Splendid. Yeah. Have any other notes?
So apart from being like obviously that good amount of cheese that I always enjoy, musically they were all really, really talented, like ridiculously so. Like it was just really fast paced, it was hard hitting, and I thought the singer, Mr. Winkler,
That's a Willy.
wee.
God bless him.
He could absolutely kill those high notes, like especially at the end of is it Land of the Unicorns? I think one of the songs was, or the Land of Unicorns.
Yeah.
Right at the end, he just goes like, "Ah!" like, and absolutely nails it.
Yeah.
And when I just heard that, I was just like, "Ooh, got me all
It's so good.
goosebumpy."
I think the song Gloryhammer itself
Yeah,
could just take him out, replace him with Judas Priest.
yeah, exactly.
Not Judas Priest, Rob Halford. Take the keyboard
Halford,
out. You got a
yeah.
Priest song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Fucking sick.
it was so good. So I really enjoyed it. So if any of their other stuff is like the third album, then probably listen to the others as well.
Do you have any cons?
I thought the last one was a bit long.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's
Like-
very story driven, wasn't it?
Yeah, like I think after listening to the whole thing in all at once, and I was like pretty amped, but by the end of it, I was just like a 12-minute song. I was like, ooh.
Yeah. I think
That's not
last
to say
night,
it wasn't good, but
Yeah, I think last night was the first time when I sat down and listened to the whole album in its entirety for this podcast. Like again, that was the first time I've actually listened to that song in its entirety. I didn't realise there was like a dial-up bit at the end where it says like, what does it say? I wrote it down somewhere. It says
It's just like the gates are open or some shit
it
like
says
that.
It's something to do with cloning.
activating Zargathax clone Alpha 1, and then the song ends.
so stupid.
Yeah. Greg.
Yeah, so as probably tell, I really, really enjoyed it. I actually have been a fairly big fan of power metal in the past, and like I'm really bad with genres and subgenres and what fits into what. But like this, when I was researching this, it reminded me of bands that I used to listen to, like Stratovarius. I don't know if you ever knew. That was what listed as one of their influences on Wikipedia. They're a really good band. They're kind of like neoclassical, like power metal-y type shit. Bands like Firewind, Dragon Force. I got listening to Sabotage this week. I don't know if they count, but they kind of reminded me slightly of this.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the cheesy epic vibes.
I didn't know you were a fan of power metal.
Yeah, and I have been on and off. I've kind of slid off it recent years.
Yeah.
For no
Well, to
particular
be
reason.
fair, it can get samey. Like you go in waves, I guess, with that kind of music.
Yeah, that like I was saying as well. That's why this one is kind of refreshingly. I got a lot of like Warhammer 40k vibes out of it, out of the whole spacey aesthetic.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much if it was all like fair maidens and dragons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fair. I think that's why I like it so much too, to be honest.
Yeah,
In my
'cause that's-
head, I'm visualizing what's going on, like more so than I would with other songs that sing about fantasy.
yeah.
I don't
And
know.
I actually felt the music videos really elevated it as well to a whole nother level of that.
Oh yeah, their music videos got some crazy budget.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I was like, Jesus, like even just the like flying submarines and the nukes and stuff. How much
Yeah.
did this cost?
You just got Chris Bowles in like a clock tower going. He's doing a keyboard solo. He's doing it on like he's casting spells and stuff. But...
Yeah, I mean that was pretty sweet. I hope he has like an actual keyboard live like that, like some weird circle thing.
I saw them live
that-
last year, and sadly, I don't think Chris Bowles does live shows with them because Ailstorm.
Yeah.
But they got another guy who's equally as good.
I saw they were due to play Bloodstock, rest
Yeah.
in peace.
Uh,
Next year.
But Ailstorm weren't touring at the same time, so I wonder if he does it when he can, sort of thing.
Yeah, maybe. God. Well, I think I've got like a con to say about it. I'm not, even though like I love the story and stuff. Once I've heard the story and I know what's going on, I'm not a huge fan of the talky bits. When he's like,
Yeah.
"You will perish at my hand, Angus McFife," and I'm like, "Yeah, go on with it."
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm never a huge fan of like talky bits in any song really,
Yeah.
because I'm just like, yeah, it's just like,
yeah, it's like the skits on hip hop albums. Have you ever noticed rappers always put like 30 seconds to a minute skit tracks halfway through their album and piss me off?
yeah,
Oh,
At least with
oh,
At least with this, they kept it quite restrained. I think it was mostly just in the intro track and the end of the last song.
yeah, and a couple in the middle. Yeah.
Hmm.
What about you, Kyle? Spill
Well,
the beans.
So I kind of I went into it and I wasn't really expecting to like it very much because, as I said, I'm not a big power metal fan,
Yeah.
and I do like a concept album, but it's not. Lyrically, I don't really normally pay attention to the lyrics in albums until like my third or fourth listen. I'm all about the instruments and stuff, so that's what I'm paying attention to. So
Ah.
maybe I need to go back and actually
I
read
didn't-
the lyrics as I listen, sort of thing.
Yeah, I didn't know that about you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I remember lyrics well once I've heard the songs a few times, but I don't actually, like, I'm crap at getting the meaning of songs. I have to look it up. I can't sit there and read it and be like, this is what the song's about.
Yeah.
I'm terrible at that. So.
I mean, I've got a pretty far-fetched meaning behind Revival, but we'll get there.
But yeah, I actually wrote bits and pieces, like, as I was going along for, like, each of the songs.
Mm.
And I was saying, like, I definitely remember you playing one of their songs before, but I can't remember what one it was.
It
But
would
I
have been Hoots
recognised his
Force.
voice. Yeah.
Or,
I was saying, like, I swear there's a line in the first song, Siege of Dunkeld, where they mentioned, like, fecal demons or something. And I was like, are you fucking joking me?
oh, this is what we're in for.
I was like, this is what, okay. I was like, it's Ailstorm, but about space.
here we go.
That was the only line in the whole album. I was like, come on, man.
Demons.
Maybe I misheard it. That's what I thought it said. But yeah, I was saying, like, it had like synths and trumpets and stuff that kind of reminded me of like symphonic metal at times a lot, like kind of Dimmu Borgir stuff. It
Yeah.
was like, kind of like black metalish without like, you know.
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
it kind of reminded me of that Bork Nagar band.
Bork
But yeah,
Nagar.
it's like, I felt the whole time I was like, it's good, but there was nothing where I was like really like getting into the groove or like really vibing with it. I was kind of
Well,
waiting.
if you don't like go for lyrics, then this band kind of thrives off their choruses and hooks and sing-along styles. So if that's not what you look for in a song, then I guess that's why they're not for you, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I need like a nice groove or like a proper hook that gets like your head moving or your body moving or something, you know.
Mm.
So
Well,
like,
they get your body moving.
yeah, but I don't know. It never really got me, you know. I don't know why. Like, I
Yeah.
felt like as well, in general, like quite a lot of the songs felt very similar to me. I don't feel like any of them were very distinctive. And
Yeah.
as I'm a smelly prog boy, so I'm like, when is something weird going to happen?
So your favourite song was the last one?
No, I hated the last one. And I think I really didn't like it, but I think that's because it felt like a bit of a slog, like because I listened to it all in one sitting.
Yeah.
So by the end, I was a bit like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm kind of ready for the album to be over now. And then I saw it was 12 minutes long, and I was like, oh fuck.
When was the last time you sat down and listened to an album in its entirety from a band you've never heard of?
I've never heard. Yeah, I mean, there's very few albums that I do that with and
Yeah.
that I like. So
I've
of
never
course,
done that, I don't think. Like,
I was going to
before
say, like,
today.
I listened to Hoots Force and Gloryhammer again today, and I enjoyed them a lot more than I did when I listened to them the other day as part of the whole album.
Mm.
So, yeah.
In my opinion, they're the best songs in the album.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Gloryhammer's my favourite song.
The Suits Force, they're both really good.
Yeah. Another thing I was going to say was, what's the song? Laser Dragonfire. It comes in so hard. It's got like a really sick, like dueling guitar solo and keyboards and stuff. I was like, this song's going to be like proper shreddy and fast, and then it just slows right down to like some of this sort of like talked verse, and I was like, so disappointing. The song's called Laser Dragonfire, and it's slow as fuck. I'm like, come on.
Come on, man. You're moaning about diversity and this.
I know. I was expecting something like really fast, and then it just slowed right down.
Oh, I get exactly what you mean. I hate it when that shit happens.
Yeah. No, I think I don't want to shit on it entirely. It's not my kind of music, and also, yeah, I thought it was good. I wouldn't turn it off, but I wouldn't turn it on either. You know.
Well, that's what makes this discussion so interesting. Is different opinions. Yeah. If we all just came in like, you know, wanking over it or shitting on it,
yeah,
then it'd be less interesting, I suppose. Tell you what, I do love about it is sometimes they've got like this trumpet sound that takes me back to playing my Mega Drive. Just playing like Sword of Vermilion or Cool Spot or Golden Axe, and I'm like, yes, I love it. So many bands do it these days where they just have this like really old school sound.
It really reminded me it really reminded me of that that Far Cry expansion where it's all like over the top
Dragon.
neon Blood Dragon. Yeah, just the whole thing was so Blood Dragony, where it's just like it's just ridiculous. And I was just like, I'm enjoying this, like not because like, you know, because a lot of the music that I particularly like is not normally quite like takes itself a bit too seriously. But when I was going into it knowing that it was like full blown cheese, I loved it so much more. I was just like,
okay.
Did anyone else notice as well in the Siege of Dunkeld they have like the exact chorus singing of like One Winged Angel from Final Fantasy VII?
No.
I might just be noticing that because I just played the remake. But yeah, if you listen to Siege of Dunkeld, they've got that like Sephiroth like chorus in the background, but it's like names of Scottish towns and shit. I love that.
Oh, that's so cool.
God damn. I didn't notice that. When I saw them live last year, they had like they just told the story throughout the show, and even the talky bits, the guy actually spoke. They all dress up like the characters, as I said, and he's just like talking to the crowd, just going, "You will all perish," and it was like a pantomime. We were like, "No,
no."
It was amazing.
Oh no, we won't.
Oh no, we won't.
Zagaprax behind you.
Comes up and impales him with a guitar. Oh no, he
behind
is
you.
So, what would everyone rate the album out of 10 if you could?
Oh, see, I said last night to Claire that I didn't want to do ratings because ratings are poo. But if you guys want to do ratings, then go for it.
I already did decide on a rating, but like I would clarify by saying it's a rating within the context of the genre, so it's like not based on how much I prefer this to other types of music. It's how well I think this did at being what it aimed to be.
That's true.
That's a good
so
idea.
that way it keeps it somewhat objective.
Yeah.
And in that frame, I gave it an 8.5.
Damn.
Because I feel like it really did what it set out to achieve, and I couldn't really fault it without faulting the genre as a whole.
Fair enough. Do you have any other final statements, or is that?
That's me, really.
Nice. Ben?
I'd say from a personal standpoint, I give it a camembert out of 10. But like Greg, from an objective point of view, what it set out to do, and like from a within its genre, it pretty hit all points of like good old cheesy power metal. So I'd give it a decent 7.5.
Okay. Kyle?
I think it's one of the best power metal albums I've ever listened to, and I've listened to a few because I did try and get into it when I was younger. I feel like are Dragon Force even considered to be power metal anymore? They are, right? They sing about dragons and explosions.
I've heard that they were called speed metal, but I don't know.
I guess so.
This is why subgenre is stuck, man.
I
It's
think
just-
power metal means is including a keyboard, but I think Dragon Force had a
Dragon Force do
keyboard.
have a keyboard, yeah.
Yeah,
can't
they're
remember.
Their newest album is called Extreme Power Metal.
Oh, well, I guess it's power metal then.
There you go.
They have a song called
There you go.
Cosmic Power of the Infinite Shred Machine. That sounds pretty power metal to me. Dude.
Nah, man, that sounds like sludge metal.
Yeah, where just every song is just like.
Just
So
coming out.
I don't think I can review it objectively because it's just not something that really I get, you know.
Mm.
So I put from like a purely personal standpoint, I put 5 out of 10, but that's because that's like bang on average. That's like I
Yeah.
didn't feel anything was great and I didn't think anything was bad, you know.
Yeah.
Other than like towards the end, it felt a bit long, but that's the same with most full album listenings, to be honest.
Yeah.
My favorite song was Gloryhammer, and my least favorite song was the last one, Fires of the Ancient Cosmic Destiny.
Oh yeah. What about you guys?
Oh, Who's Force? Favorite song.
Who's Force?
Followed by Glory. Worst, probably the last one.
Yeah.
I'd say best song for me was either Masters of the Galaxy or Land of Unicorns, because back to back those songs are like number 3 and then number 4. So listening to them in succession, I was like, ah! It was epic. And yeah, last one was just the worst for me, just because at that point that's the 10th one, and then it's 12 minutes in, and at that point I was just like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last song.
Still good, still good,
Point.
but
Yeah. Well, I don't know about a score for me because I'm personally not a fan of ratings just because so many people get so fucking aggy about them. I agree with Kyle though, a 5 is average. Well,
Yeah.
Donkey I think said it perfectly where most things are at this lump up at 5 and 3 and 10s are rare.
It really should be like -5 to +5, really.
But I don't know. I will give it a 9 because I'm biased. But also, if anyone is a fan of power metal, just listen to it because I think it is, the cream of the crop. Isn't that the phrase?
Yeah, I mean,
That's a pretty
at
good
the end
phrase.
of the day, if people disagree with any of our ratings, just comment and be a good boy and explain it in 100 words or less, formatted with double-spaced lines. No, just don't be a dick and just explain why you think we're wrong. Like, I'm happy to discuss it. It would be a nice little segment for the next episode.
Yeah, I definitely think we should have a comment section part at the end of the podcast.
Yeah, the discussion is not just us.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd like to take the discussion out to you guys. What do you think?
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Yay!
All right. Ben, do you want to segue into the next one? Do you want to light the torch?
So the next band on the agenda is the side projects from Howard Jones. Is that his name?
Yeah.
I think his name's
Howard Jones.
Ainsley.
He just comes on with the microphone and he's like, "Give your meat a good old rub."
Ainsley can be terrifying when he wants to be. He'd be a great metal front.
Yeah, I'm sure if he went on stage, he could probably belt out a proper yeah.
Just comes out with a microphone and a ladle full of gravy.
Yeah.
Oh dear. So, yeah, Howard Jones, formerly from Kill Switch Engage, he had a side project called Devil You Know, and they then changed their name later to Light the Torch. And Revival is their first studio album, and it's a metalcore album. And I've had this album on repeat for like a whole year now because it just slaps so hard. And like, it's slightly less screamy than Kill Switch. So it's more the core than the metal, I guess. Or no, more the metal than the core. I don't know.
More metal
there's
than
definitely
core.
more like.
I wouldn't even class it as metalcore
There's more
myself.
like singing. What's that?
I said I wouldn't class it as metalcore myself. I'd just call it metal.
I
guess
only know it as metalcore.
it's just
Wikipedia called it.
Oh, okay.
yeah. I suppose like it's not as screamy as anything as they did in Kill Switch, so I'm not really sure. But yeah, it's just great. Like Howard's voice in it just is ridiculously good, melodic. He holds a tune so well, and he's so powerful. What did you guys think?
Should I go first on
Yeah,
this one?
should we do it in reverse order?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I came into it expecting to like it because I like Kill Switch Engage, and I really liked them with Howard Jones. But having said that, I haven't listened to anything he's done since then. I hadn't listened to any Devil You Know, and I hadn't even listened to like the last album he did with Kill Switch, to be honest. So it's been a while. The only thing I'd heard him on was that Kill Switch song, "The Signal Fire," that he did a guest vocals on. So I knew I knew he still was good. So, but yeah, I went into it with good impressions, and so like I've written bits and pieces for each one. They're very Howard Jones choruses. He still sounds just as good as he always did. I think that personally, I would have preferred more screen vocals because his screen vocals are sick. Like he kind of only really uses them as like ad libs in this album. Kind of like just in between, like occasionally be like "come out" or something like that, you know, instead of like actual scream.
I also thought it was weird that there was not that much screaming.
Yeah. But yeah, the music videos were super low budget. You could tell that they were only really starting out. But then also like they got like 3 million views, so obviously they're doing quite well. So that was pretty cool. But the main things I put is like some of the songs were like borderline gent. They had like really crunchy guitar tone and like really like chuggy riffs and stuff, which I thought were the best ones. The whoever's doing the backing vocals is really good as well. I thought the best songs were the ones with the sort of back and forth vocals between the backing vocals and the main. Like I feel like the guy who did the backing vocals could be a lead singer in another band. Like he was really good.
Yeah, for sure.
I mentioned the backing vocals being really good in my notes as well. I thought they really complimented Hal's voice.
Yeah, exactly. They sounded like they're kind of similar, but not really. Especially like some of the songs, like I put like a really specific one. One of the later songs, he does like Judas Convention, the last song. He does like really high pitched vocals.
Oh yeah.
And that sounds that bit was like so
Yeah.
cool. That was like one of the bits that gave me chills. Like his I really like super high vocals, and he nailed them in that song. It sounded a bit like the guy out of Periphery at times. So, but yeah. The songs I liked the most, I felt like there was a couple filler songs on the album, which oddly were the ones they had singles out of. So I guess they were kind of the more like safe ones, like Safety of Disbelief. Great Divide. Yeah, I thought they were a bit simple. They were kind of
sometimes the singles aren't that great, are they?
I think they just kind of, especially because they're a newer band, they're just going to put out the songs that are safer. They're going to put out the like less risky, diverse songs. So yeah, but for the most part, I thought it was really good. I had like 3 songs which I thought were the best, but I'll save those for the last for you guys.
Oh man, I didn't write down what songs I didn't like, but I definitely wrote down the songs I did like. But yeah, who wants to go next?
Okay. So for me, probably just my own tastes. I felt this album blended more, like all the songs sounded similar to me than the Gloryhammer ones. They seem more distinct in my mind. I really did like this album. I've always meant to listen to more of this type of stuff. Like I'm fairly familiar with I don't know what counts as metalcore, but like I don't know, Machine Head, Kill Switch, Gojira. What are they? I don't know.
Hey, you saw Machine Head at Download?
No, I didn't.
Gerg saw Machine Head.
That information isn't in my brain.
Just so drunk, you're just watching all of Machine Head, and then they left stage, and you would say, "So when a Machine Head coming on?" After you just stood there and watched the whole show.
Literally in the pit for most of it, and then afterwards you're like, "Oh, I'm looking forward to Machine Head, boys."
Clearly one of the biggest influences on my musical taste. See what I mean, man? It blurs together so much. It all sounds so much the same that I didn't even.
Shouldn't have been drunk when you listened to it then.
Yeah, well.
So you drink like a whole bottle of whiskey or something.
I was talking about this album.
Oh, this album. Yeah.
I was almost sober. Anyway, we're getting off topic here. I liked it. I liked the album. It was good. I don't know what else to say, really. It was very, very technically competent. I liked the guitar work, and obviously the singing is amazing. I feel like most of the character of this band, for me, comes from Howard Jones's voice. Like, I really feel like he makes the sounds.
I think he's got one of the most distinctive voices in metal, to be honest.
Yeah.
Do you know who it really reminded me of? Do you remember when it was me, Ben and Zach, wasn't it, that went and saw The Who?
Oh, yeah, Claire said that as well.
Yeah, Fire from the Gods that supported them.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the time I think we said they were quite kill switchy.
Yeah.
This really reminded me to go back and listen to them as well.
It's not a bad idea. They were really good.
Yeah, they were great.
You can tell they really wanted to be there because I think they said it was their first show in England or something.
They were from
That's
like
funny.
Arizona or something, but the dude had like a London accent. I didn't really understand. It was all just a ploy. I don't know. It was
Oh no, the guy from Gloryhammer's from Swiss, I think. So, and he lived in Scotland.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say with that, he sounded like some of his vocal delivery. Like there's one song where he says "darkness," and I'm like, that's Scandinavian or something, Central European or something. I was really confused. I was like, yeah, exactly.
Duckness.
Oh dear.
Uh,
All right. Yeah, I pretty much agree with Greg, to be honest. Greg, do you have anything else to say?
not really. I guess just that it left less of an impression on me, but that's probably just to do with my taste.
Yeah.
There were no songs that I really didn't like, apart from I felt they were a bit less enjoyable when they slowed down in. It wasn't that slow, but like I noticed The Great Divide and Judas Convention were both a bit not quite what I was looking for from this band. It lost the energy a little bit. The whole rest of the album was super enjoyable. I loved it. Favorite song probably Die Alone or possibly Come Before the Storm.
Yeah, that was my favourite song. Spoilers.
I
haven't given it a rating yet.
When that riff started, I was like, ooh.
Yeah, the Calm Before the Storm one. I knew you'd like that because it's kind of punky.
Yeah. But also,
Yeah,
I loved the chunk. This album has got fucking curves. There's so much chunk to the riffs that play. And when Howard comes on, I just wrote in the notes, Howard nails it. And then I wrote, again, great riffs, chunky riffs. Howard nailed it again, chunky riffs. So and then I stopped because I was like, hang on, I'm repeating myself. But I think the only like problem is I also just wrote down Poundland Kill Switch Engage. I was just like listening to it, I'm like, I just wanted to put Kill Switch on. Which
I feel like
fair.
Kill Switch are more diverse, and I feel like I feel like he was playing it a bit safe on this album. He's got an amazing voice, but I feel like he didn't really switch it up that much. Like he kind of had the same sort of delivery for a lot of songs.
Where's his like holy diver vibrato shit?
Yeah,
stuff?
he's got a really good vocal range, but he didn't really go for it that much, I think.
I agree, more screaming would have varied it and given it that room.
Also, I got down here saying like, Ben, me and you are gonna have a chat. Are you okay?
Oh, yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Why?
Because I was listening to this with Claire on Apple TV, so he got the lyrics up.
Yeah.
And I think Howard Jones needs to go see a shrink. Man.
He's not happy.
He is not happy.
Even I picked up on that.
Oh yeah.
Every
Yeah, if you
single
listen-
song is about being sad.
being broken and being left behind and shit like
Yeah, they
And-
had.
That alone for me personally is why I didn't actually like this band that as much as Killswitch. I like the music, but I don't really like that kind of tone in my music because, especially in lockdown, I need to. Maybe that's why I'm getting into power metal because I need to get out of this fucking house
The
and into a
slump.
galactic battle.
With that musical escapism.
But yeah, other than the lyrics though, it was amazing. It just wasn't my kind of theme, I guess.
I guess it's good to have like different perspective because like personally for me that's why I often listen to more gothy like dark music because like in my head it never makes me me sad or anything because I'm like, oh dude, that guy's having the worst time of his life. I'm not having that at all, so I'm not that bad.
Oh, that's
Like-
interesting.
like-
you say
So
that.
you enjoy the
But
suffering.
I could be in a shit situation, but I'm not feeling what this guy's feeling, where he's talking about like death and shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm the opposite, man. When I listen to
Yeah.
a sad song like Hurt or Comfortably Numb, I like emphasize so bad where it just makes me sad. Like Hurt's made me cry so many times.
Yeah.
But I
But
suppose
at
it's
least with this, like, the lyrics are sad, but the music isn't. Like, I pretty much
Yeah.
paid no attention to the lyrics whatsoever throughout this because I felt like they didn't really matter as much. It's not a concept album. I don't really care what you're saying. And
Yeah, the
I didn't get
music's
any of that
all-
sadness.
Well, there's the difference, isn't there? Where I look for a hook and lyrics over the instruments more. I guess I don't know why. Just that's how my brain works.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's
There's not
interesting.
a reason for it, is there?
No, not at all. I did write a really long-winded reason. It's called Light the Torch because it's so dark, dim, and depressing. The act of lighting a torch is to brighten your world. Each song is about breaking out of a rut, looking back at bad times, and now it is time to light the torch, brighten your day, revive.
Big cry.
But then there's no criticism. If there was a couple of songs where he sung about his revival and him being all right, then I think that would make the album really so much better.
Yeah.
I
No,
think
that's
it's
different,
definitely, if you look at any of the lyrics in the it's definitely like sort of comes from a place of Howard's kind of just venting. Like
Yeah.
if you listen to Safety and Disbelief, where he's singing about, you know, I will never be what you want me to be, sort of thing. I can never be what you want me to be. And like that sort of thing. Like he's obviously had a bad breakup that he's really just needed to vent and then like push through and get to the other side.
Yeah.
To which, like, I suppose like a lot of those songs for me personally like resonates with me really well because of that aspect as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Fair enough.
So I can relate definitely to that. But yeah, like apart from like lyrically and thematically, like I just really like his voice.
Oh yeah, so do I. That's why
But
I
I
started
think-
with complimenting his voice and the riffs.
If I have to say any sort of cons of the album, it's definitely as it gets to sort of like a bit after halfway. So maybe after like the bitter end, where it's like the last 4 songs, it kind of starts to fall flat a little bit. Like, you know, like the first, it just hits so hard and strong in the first like 5 or 6 songs, and then starts to really, really slow down for me personally. And I'm like, it drags a bit. And then sometimes, like, if I'm listening to the whole album, I'll just stop it after like the bitter end or something like that, and then just be done with it. So
fair.
it dwindles a little bit.
Yeah. It's funny you say that. I get that with loads of bands, but Blackstone Cherry, most of the first half of most of their albums is really good, and then it gets shit. And one of the songs where I stop the album on is called Bitter End.
Yeah,
Maybe
That's
it's
just the bitter end of your listening experience
Yeah.
with that album.
Maybe
In fairness, like there's so few albums that actually are all consistently good. There's always going to be filler songs. Like I would say, if an album has all good songs, like any song I could put on and enjoy it, that's a 10 out of 10 album for me. And I have like probably less than 20 overall 10 out of 10 albums like that I can really listen to all the way.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
So,
I think a good album, like for me personally, needs to have like ups and downs. Like it needs to have like like songs that kind of go like this to keep it interesting. Because if it's all fucking amazing and then suddenly the slow stuff happens, you kind of like you just go into a bit of a trough and you're like, ugh.
yeah, but I feel like a song
Yeah,
doesn't have to be. A song isn't necessarily bad because it's slow.
No,
I do
no,
feel
no.
like it's better if you mix it up a bit, but
Yeah.
they can all be good.
Yeah.
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 Well, I don't know about you guys, but I personally, fast songs get me hooked on bands, and then I go and find out their slower songs. I've very rarely been shown a slow song and go, that's a bop! And I like go and listen to the band.
Yeah.
I guess it's just my attention span, but
I think I'm the same, to be honest.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
it's all of us the same. That's why we listen to metal because we don't have
because we've all got
attention.
ADHD.
Otherwise, we'd be fucking moshing out to classical like Beethoven's Fifth. Like, oh,
Yeah. Oh, go on, Beethoven. Go on, old Beatty. Oh dear.
Beatty.
Yeah. I mean that's the gist of what I have to say about the album. Favorite songs, actually.
Oh yeah.
Unless you had something else to say. Sorry, Greg.
I had a question actually for Ben. So they made an album and like a couple of singles when they were Devil You Know.
Yeah.
Have those just been like deleted from existence? Because I couldn't find them on Spotify or anything.
You know, I don't really know.
Apparently they released the whole album. I couldn't find it.
They did, yeah, because I remember reading about it in Metal Hammer.
Yeah, and then they actually, sorry to shit on your theory, Zach, but they changed the name for legal reasons. Because one of the members that left wanted to claim the original name.
That's
dickhead.
So bullshit, dude.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
That's what Wikipedia told me anyway. My deep research.
Yeah, if you search for Devil You Know on Google, it will show you Light the Torch. But
The beauty
they have
of
songs on
destruction.
YouTube,
Okay, I wanted to find them because
Yeah, that's
which
Yeah,
also
yeah.
sound just as depressing because they have videos for one called 7 Years Alone and
Yeah,
another one called
yeah.
It's Over.
Aw. Howard, I just want to give him a
Infidel
big hug.
metal.
Yeah, our boy's not had a good time, has he? Or well, maybe he has.
I think that's the reason why he left Killswitch, wasn't it? Because he went to get therapy and stuff, and that's why he was like an alcoholic or something. And so obviously he's not been having a great time, and obviously the main thing he was into was Killswitch, and I think I might be completely wrong here, but as far as I know, they like had an intervention. They were like, you need to go get help and focus on feeling better than the band because it was like fucking him up, sort of thing.
Oh.
So yeah.
Damn.
Well, I take back my jokes, but
No, I mean obviously like at the end of the day, if it's sad boy music, it's sad boy music.
I mean, look. At the end of the day, we're making it out like Revival's like the saddest thing. But if you listen to like half
not.
of Killswitch's stuff,
Oh yeah, for sure.
it is super depressing. Like
Yeah.
if you listen to like End of
Arms of
Heartache
Sorrow.
and Rose of Sharon and Arms
Yeah.
of Sorrow.
It
Like,
won't be
it's-
long. We'll meet again. My memory.
Like,
you was
he's-
never
he's-
lasting.
he's
It's
always
just
been a
about
sad
dead
boy.
girl. Like how cool.
This guy.
Yeah, to be fair, that's
Yeah.
the kind of their aspect.
Yeah. That's his thing, man. He's a sad boy. What are you gonna do?
I need to get a thesaurus and find out other words for chunky and crunchy because those two words just sum up the riffs perfectly.
It's the fat bowl of crunchy nut.
Yeah,
when you
that's
listen
what I
to
like. I think that's why I enjoyed the album a lot. Because for one, as I said, I don't listen to the lyrics, and for two, all I want is like a groove, and they had both of those things.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
for sure. I put that like quite a few of their riffs were like borderline Meshuggah riffs. And some of their riffs were like pretty soil worky. If you guys have ever listened
Oh,
to
yeah.
them,
Oh
So,
yeah.
Oh, we actually have a song called "Light the Torch," which I discovered
yeah,
during
they
this.
do. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a really good song.
Yeah, this,
Yeah.
Damn. I
best
saw Soil
songs for
Work
me-
at Bloodstock last year. They were really good.
Oh yeah, their new albums are actually sick. I hadn't listened to them for years, but they're really good. Yeah, best songs I put Raise the Dead, God I Deserve, and Virus, which were all the heavier, chunkier ones, but that's just kind of my aesthetic. So I thought Safety of Disbelief and Great Divide seemed pretty fillery to me.
I quite like Safety of Disbelief.
Mm,
Yeah, I mean,
that's
it's
one of my
by
favorite
far their
ones.
most popular song, but I
Oh,
didn't really
yeah.
like it very much.
I'll agree. Great Divide was one of my less favorite ones.
Yeah, I agree with that as well.
Yeah,
Um,
overall, I gave it a 7 out of 10. I thought it was pretty good. There's those 3 songs I mentioned I did add to my playlist, so I'll be listening to them in the future.
If I had
But I
to,
feel to push it past a 7 out of 10, it needs to be like at least half the album's really good to me, and that's pretty high asking. But then an 8 out of 10 is a really fucking good rating, so you know.
hmm,
Yeah, I'd say 7 is fair. What are you saying, Ben?
so the favorite songs was probably, I mean, like I said before, it's like the first 8 songs of the album. Like all of them are just amazing. But if I had to pick, it would be Safety of Disbelief and God I Deserve, like Kyle said, just because there's this one bit where it just like stops a little bit and it's like, you have no home here, and it's just like everything's just like all melodic and it's like you're flying. I'm like, that bit is always amazing. So that's one of my favorite songs. So I'm biased. Like, I love everything about it. It's like one of my favorite albums. So I'd probably say 10 out of 10. No, it's at least a decent 8 to 9 out of 10 for me.
Oh, yeah, Greg.
Well, I already said my favorite songs were "Die Alone" and "Calm Before the Storm."
Oh,
No
yeah.
particular reason. I found them the catchiest. I enjoyed listening to them probably the most. But the entire album was good for me. I'm gonna give it 7.5 for
Boosh.
vague reasons that I can't quite articulate.
Gave it a higher rating than me.
I think it's
Did
pretty
you
well
like it that
being
much?
what it's trying to be. Yeah.
Hell
I guess
yeah.
I'm just a harsh critic.
Oh, I'm a harsh critic too, but I was also biased with Gloryhammer, so it's hard not to be biased. But it's so sick.
Maybe
Glory, yeah, I thought it started out really strong, and I was just like, ooh, it's putting hair on my chest. But yeah, as you said, as the album goes on, it kind of goes downhill a bit. And I wrote something down. I said something like, do you reckon as a generation, and we've gotten so used to pick and choosing songs, that we've kind of like forgotten, or I personally have forgotten what it's like to just listen to an album in its entirety and with the ups and downs? Because I thought that both the Gloryhammer and the Light the Torch album, every song sounded the same on both albums in their own way. And then it got me thinking, like, maybe that's always been the case, but we've just gotten so used to, like, going, I feel like listening to Slipknot, and now I feel like listening to Michael Jackson and Gorillaz.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think what this podcast is going to open our eyes to is the beauty of an album progression, and maybe that's something we can learn on for our CHUB EP and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, really good point. I never really listen to an album from beginning to end these days. It's always playlists and pick and choosing songs.
Yeah,
So-
whenever I find a new band, I go straight to the best of.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
they're
it's
old enough.
Yeah.
something of a lost art form, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I mean,
Well, lost
even
to
my
us.
favorite bands, I'll listen to like 1 or 2 songs off of each album that are really good. And then for the most part, I don't listen to the whole thing. Like, there's a few albums like where they're built as an album experience, like between the Buried in Me albums and OPEF albums and stuff, where the songs have bits like that. The ending of one song flows into the beginning of the next song. It works as like a full thing.
yeah,
That makes sense to me. But for the most part, it's like it's really, really difficult for any band to not get samey by the end of. I mean, it's 45 minutes long of sitting there and just listening to this, which I don't often do anymore. Most of the time when I listen to music, it's on and I'm doing something else. So,
Yeah. It's more background than anything.
yeah, same. But my favourite songs were Calm Before the Storm, Virus, and Bitter End. they were 3 songs that I plonked straight into Zach's bangers.
Hey.
But yeah, and I'd love to see them live. Seeing the band live always changes my opinion on them.
Yeah. For
So,
sure.
yeah. I personally, though, just because I'd give it a 5. I think
That's fair.
it's just like, in my opinion, I've obviously only heard it once, but it's just like average metalcore.
Yeah, that's fair. To be fair, you hit the nail on the head when they were like, they are kind of a little bit beeline Killswitch Engage.
Yeah.
Like it's like the B-sides that never made it, so they funked it on this album, which is really harsh to say. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that get super angry about that, but you know, it's Howard Jones. Obviously, it's going to sound like Killswitch Engage because that's one of the things that made it.
Yeah.
If the torch had come first, you might be saying that it's the other way around and
Yeah.
Killswitch pound left.
Yeah, exactly.
At the end of the day, it's more of a good thing, which must be good.
Yeah.
I feel like, for my personal opinion, I feel like metalcore is kind of struggling these days as well because it's gotten kind of formulaic. Like it's really difficult to bring anything new to the table with it. I think good new metalcore is really good. I used to, and it's also like metalcore was like the sound of my teen years. So for me, it's kind of lost its luster a bit.
Yeah,
that's kind of the same with me and glam. It's like, another song about drinking. I love it, but been there, done that. Got the T-shirt.
Yeah.
I suppose that's why you gotta try not to stick too hard to any one genre, and then you can leave it and come back and rediscover it.
All right. I think for our first podcast, we did pretty well.
Yeah,
we managed to keep
we did a
talking
good
for
job.
an hour.
Are we gonna recommend the albums for next week?
Yeah, do it. Go on, Kyle.
Fucking hell! All right, so I narrowed it down to 4 options. So I'm gonna give you pick. I'm gonna say the genres because I didn't pick ones of the same genre, and you can pick which one you fancy.
Okay.
So I have one that's kind of funky, rocky. I've got one that's hardcore punk. I've got one that's house/electronic, and I've got one that's like extreme metal.
Oof. When you say funky, is it like clutch funky?
The bassist is sick. It's got like it's more like it's like slapper to bass sort of stuff.
Well, like Primus.
It's like less silly than Primus, but still
Like
quite
Red
silly.
Hot Chili Peppers, kind of.
Yeah, more like Red Hot Chilies. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm leaning towards that. What about you guys?
Yeah, I like the idea of that. I would go for either that or the electronic one, but I'm fine with either.
I have a feeling that I already know vaguely what either your hardcore or your extreme metal one would be.
Yeah.
So I probably already listened to them, so I'm going to go with the others and say the funk as well. Because
Well, to be fair, Ben, earlier before you joined the call, we were saying that it doesn't really matter if we've heard the album before.
That's true.
We could just throw in like Black Sabbath's Paranoid.
And right,
we'd all be like, yeah! We'll just gush over it for an hour. Is that the name of the album? I feel bad now.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
album I've chosen. No, it's
Fucking hell.
the album I've chosen. It's by a band called Wolfpack.
Oh?
You ever heard of them?
No.
No.
They're called Wolfpack, and the album is called Thrill of the Arts.
Okay.
And they have a YouTube channel where they record pretty much all of their stuff live. So I'd recommend watching that. It's cool. They
Okay.
have most of the songs on this album live. They did
American.
a show in Madison Square Garden where most of these songs are on that live in Madison Square Garden.
Where are
YouTube
they
video.
from?
They're American, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, cool. Yeah, post it on the Chub chat because I have already I don't know how to spell it for one.
It's like Wolfpack but German. Wolfpack.
Okay. With
I'll
lots of...
put it in the Chub chat.
All right. I'm looking forward to that. Greg,
Yeah, interesting.
what are you saying?
Right, I really have no clue because I didn't realize I was going to have to be picking one just now.
Oh,
A couple of ideas. There's one very British hip hop I had in mind, which would be very, very silly.
Hey, just do that.
So a
fuck
lot
it.
of, like, yeah, all right, cool. So
Yeah, do whatever you want, mate.
well, I was trying to think of the best idea, but then I've kind of run out of time. But I do think that would be quite funny. A lot of lyrical content to analyze.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm gonna go with Dirty Duck.
you are lagging.
Dirty Dyke, what?
Am I really? Oh, fuck's sake. I made it nearly to the end.
Dirty
Yeah, I'm
Dyke.
gonna go with Dirty Dyke, and the album is called Constant Dyke Star.
Dyke Star.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
okay. Well, I think before Greg goes into the Terror Vortex, we should stop the podcast.
Franks, no.
All right.
Oh, this album art of Constant Dyke Star, though. Wow.
That's glorious, isn't it? I think you will enjoy it,
Okay, we'll have a
Cool.
listen.
and get the lyrics up alongside it as well, because that's the best part.
Oh, I'm sure if it's on Apple TV, it'll have lyrics. Well,
Sick.
thank you so much for watching. If you don't forget to listen to the bands that Kyle and Greg have recommended, we will put them pinned at the bottom of the comment section. Bye.
If you disagreed with what we said,
Thanks,
shout at
everyone.
us.
Watching.
Bye.
If our podcast gave you a chub, subscribe.